All right, phlebotomists, welcome back. Welcome back. So, we're now going to be talking about setting up our goals, okay? How many patients we need to see per month, per day, per week, so that we can know if we're going to be profitable, if we're making money, and just keeping track of our goals for our mobile phlebotomy business. So, first things first, this right here is your data. This is what you start with, okay? So, right here, based off of this data, okay, we need to see, let's just say we chose this one right here. I'll zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better, okay? So let's just say we wanted to charge $59.63. Write that down somewhere, okay? And then we're going to see 115 patients per month in order to hit our goal of $6,856.95. Okay, so get those three numbers. Okay, so month is 115. You're charging $59.63, and you're trying to make this money of $6,856.95. Okay, and we're gonna go right here to our daily tracker. Oh, my favorite tracker I use every single day. So this is going to be for your mobile phlebotomy business to keep track of your trackers. Okay, so you're going to see here charts because we got some visual learners. They want to see what the actual numbers are, which ones are close to your goals, which ones are your actual targets and your actual amount of money that you did make. So all that's going to show here on this graph as we're inputting these specific numbers. So let's plug in everything that we have had in the previous tracker. So first things first, you're going to see here your goal status. So these are going to be your draws that you want to target, and then the actual draws you actually did draw. You're going to have your goal status. So this is the amount of money that you are targeting to make per collection, and this is the target amount that you actually made, okay? Same thing here, your patient draw and prices. I'm sorry, your pricing. So this is where we're going to put that draw fee here, right here in the yellow, all right? So you're going to plug it into all those specific areas. Then you're going to have your target amount of draws. So whatever that target was, let's just say if it was 5 draws that we wanted to, do, we'll have a specific target amount of money that we want to make seeing those patients or doing those collections. And then lastly is going to be the actual. So how much did you actually make? So we wanted to see 4 patients, but we actually saw 6 patients. So this is how much you made. Okay. So we're going to plug it all in so that it all makes sense. Okay. So first things first, let's start talking about our target. Here, let me zoom in. Perfect. So let's talk about our target. So we talked about how many patients we want to see per month. Remember in the previous video and the previous tracker? So we said we wanted to see how many patients per month? 115. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, as you can see, it says goal not reached yet. So that's going to happen whenever we're not hitting our goals. It's going to say, hey, you didn't hit your goal. You didn't reach your goal. And then we need to figure out how many patients per week we need to see to hit this goal that we want of that $6,000, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take 115 and you're going to divide that by how many weeks are in a month. So take 115 and divide that by 4, and you're going to get 28.75. But you and I both know that there's no such thing as 28.75 patients. So what we need to do, phlebotomists, is to round up. So this means that we're going to have a target amount of patients of 29 per week. Okay, so it's not 28.75 because there's no such thing. You round up. So we're going to do it at 29 patients per week. And then we're going to do per day. So there's 2 ways to do this. Because some phlebotomists say, hey, I only want to work 5 days a week. I want to have 2 days off. I feel like, hey, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. When you hit your goals, then you have a day off. So let's just say your goal was 2 patients a day. You hit 4 patients a day. You can have a day off because you hit your goal previously, you see? So all we're going to do here is take that 29 and divide that by how many days are in a week? 7. So now you're going to get 4.14. No such thing as 4.14 patients. So you're going to round up to 5. So we need to see 5 patients a day, 29 per week, 115 per month to hit our goal that we once looked at, which was that, $6,856, right? So now what we're going to do is, this is our target, right? So now we need to put our price per draw. How much were we charging, remember? So you're going to put that, what was that, 59.63, okay? And do it for all of them, okay? So 59.63, that's how much you're charging for your services, okay? Per day, per month, per week, all right? So that's never going to change. Next is going to be your target income goals. So we're going to plug the numbers in here that we have recorded for our target. So now we have an idea. We have a specific target amount of people we want to see. We know what our charge fee is going to be, but we now need to know what our target income is going to be for our mobile phlebotomy business. So if our target draws is 5, we're going to enter 5 right here, okay? So now we're going to see $298.15 is what we're going to be targeting to make if we do see those 5 patients in a day. You see how that works? And then you're going to see here your graph starts to populate now. So you can have a visual of, your actual goals, okay? So right here, you're going to see an overview of target versus actual draws, okay? So these are all your targets. So this is your target per day, which is 5, and then your overall target versus actual income, okay? So this is going to be your income right here. So all this is going to be placed right here so we can have a visual of it as well. All right, so let's just keep plugging in those numbers. So we got 29 right here, and that means we want to have a target income of $1,729.27. As you can see, your chart is now growing, okay? It's starting to input all of your targets, okay? And then finally, it's going to be the 115, and bam. Remember that goal? $6,856.95 that we wanted to make. We have beat that goal once we hit that specific number or target, okay? So we want to hit that number. So now, phlebotomists, we now know our numbers. We now know our target, all right? We now need to have this in our heads now that this is the amount of patients we need to see per day, per month, per week, per month, per day, so that we're able to hit our goals for our mobile phlebotomy business to be successful. So now let's just say you've done your marketing, you've done your advertisement, you've done billboards, you've done ads on Facebook, Instagram, right? And you got a lot of traffic to your business. So now we're going to look at some actual numbers so that we can see, what we actually got. So let's just say in that day, instead of seeing 5, we saw 7, okay? So now our goal has been reached. But let's just say in that week, hey, we didn't see all 29 patients, in a week. We only saw 22. So you're going to see your goal was not reached. It didn't move, right? And then finally, you're going to see per month, let's just say in a whole entire month, you guys killed it. Ads were out there. You were able to get the exposure, the traffic. People were coming in for your lab panels that you offered. And you saw 121 patients. Bam, okay? So you've reached your entire goal, right? So now what we're going to do is plug these actual numbers in over here, right? So that it can populate on what we actually made. And then it'll also populate for our goal status of how much we actually made as well. So 7's right here. We're going to plug in 7 patients is what we saw. So now we have an income of $417.41. So now our goal was actually reached and it was hit. And as you can see, once we start adding in our actual numbers here, our data is going to start populating. Our charts are going to start populating, showing our target draws versus our actual draws, our income goal versus our actual income, okay? So let's just keep plugging it in. So we saw 22. And we made $1,311.86. So we didn't hit that goal right here. So it's going to say goal not reached. And as you can see, everything's populating here on your charts. And then finally, we saw 121 patients total. So in a month, we were able to generate $7,215.23. So you guys see how this is needing to be had or understood before you even start the business, is setting up your goals first so that when you go and do the marketing and the advertisement, you know how many patients you need to see to hit your goals so that you're profitable for your mobile phlebotomy business. Stop guessing. Stop saying, oh, I just want to charge $65 when you haven't even looked at your expenses or understood it yet. You're just guessing, okay? So there's no more guessing with your mobile phlebotomy business, especially when we got a tracker that's going to help you out, okay? And we use this tracker every single day, all the trackers, okay? Every single day. I need you to have this embedded into your heart, into your business, into your mindset, because again, if you don't know your data, you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business, okay? So I hope this was helpful, phlebotomists. And again, make sure you subscribe, send this to another phlebotomist who needs to see this so they can understand their business expenses, how to track their goals per day, per month, per week, so they're executing their income and profitable for their mobile phlebotomy business. And I'll see you guys in the next video.